Hey everyone, Michael here from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review comparison. Today we're looking at Sig Sauer airguns, and these are BB guns, so steel BB, 4.5 millimeter steel BB, and .177 caliber pellet pistols as well. And these are all distributed by Sig Sauer. So there are other Sig Sauer licensed guns through other companies, or even some guns that aren't licensed but they look like SIGs, that you can get through different other companies. But today we're looking at actual Sig Sauer distributed SIG products. So basically what I'm going to do is tell you what my favorite BB version is and my favorite pellet version is of each of these Sig Sauer guns. So I'll break it down into two categories, but we are going to kind of go over them all together. At the end, I'll tell you what my favorite one is in each category. So let's just quickly go over them, what we have here. So essentially we have a KWC made We the People gun. So this is like your typical KWC 1911. A lot of the parts are universal. They'll fit back and forth on each gun, but this one's made specifically for SIG, has the We the People branding and SIG licensing and everything on it. We'll take a look later on. It's got the metal grips and everything. It's very unique. It's a really cool KWC 1911. If you are into the KWC 1911s, this is a really unique version of it. And it is a BB pistol, by the way. So we have BB, 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 and then we have essentially pellet pistols here. From this side on is all pellet. So let's move up along here. The next gun is the Max Michael, or Max Michel, however you want to say it. And this is another BB pistol. Now these are all blowback guns. All of these guns are blowback, but they're varying degrees of blowback. Some are full blowback, like the KWC 1911, and most of the other ones will kind of be partial blowback because they got different mechanical mechanisms. They're not your typical full blowback. So these two are essentially the same mechanically. It just, we have the Spartan here. Okay, so this is the Spartan. They just physically look a little bit different. They have different finishings, but they are kind of the same gun in that they have, and I'll show you this a bit later, it has the stick mag as opposed to the full-size dropout magazine. Not really full blowback operation. Gonna shoot a little bit more with more velocity than the KWC version because this is full blowback. A little less heavy slide recoil and all that, but pretty cool. Then we have the P365 here. This is a really cool gun. I remember when it came out at SHOT Show, I was really impressed, and I'll kind of get into that a bit more when I pick it up. But essentially, it's a full-size dropout magazine that holds the CO2. Such a small gun to be able to do that with. Has blowback operation with a true single-action trigger. Really neat gun. There are some pros and cons to it, which I'll get into when I show you around it in a little bit. So that's this row, all BB pistols. Then we have our pellet firing pistols here. Again, CO2, all blowback. Some of them have slightly different mags. So here we have your typical PX4 type mag that holds, I believe it's 8 rounds on each side. So 16 total. And you got to flip it when you run out on the one side, right? With basically, you know, CO2 goes in there like that. And you'll find this type of magazine, if I can get that on, in both the P250 and the Sig Sauer P226 has the same magazine. This one's an all metal pistol. This P226 is all metal, frame and slide, nice and heavy, whereas the P250 is polymer or plastic frame metal slide, right? And then the 320 kind of looks a lot like the 250, has this rotor, or this, I guess, belt-fed magazine. And this one here, if you can get this open, I'm pretty sure I can get it open. There we go. This has a 30-round magazine, one of the higher capacity belt-fed magazines in the SIG lineup, right? That's pretty nice. Did I put it in right? I think I put that in. Yeah, I got it in right. Whoops. And this one's also going to have a magazine that's CO2 that's fed through the back there, like this. Let me get my mag that popped out. All right, and then we have the X5 here, which has another belt-fed magazine, but this is a 20-round belt-fed magazine. Okay, let me just, so you can see it's a little shorter, okay? Has some pellets in it. It's okay, there's no CO2 in here. Pretty sure there isn't. And this one uses like a leverage system instead of like a tab to compress the CO2 into it. You can see how that works. So that's a neat system. None of these guns, by the way, have ejection ports that are cut out, including the P226. So that's a little bit of a letdown, but got the decocker, got a lot of working parts. I like this gun. You can't even put a suppressor on it if you want to buy the Sig one. And then we have the M17. Okay, this one does have an ejection port that's cut out. It has a full-size dropout magazine that also has this rotary mag that holds 20 rounds, like the other ones, but 20 rounds. And you can take the magazine out, get different magazines. You can get different, dropout magazines that hold the CO2. So this is like a valve, so it doesn't all come out when you pull it out. You lose a tiny bit when you pull it out, but not that much. It's got the extended magazine. You know, this slide doesn't lock back on a lot of these pellet guns, which is typical of rotary type magazines. They don't have a follower. So none of these slides are going to lock back like they would on these BB pistols because they have followers that follow up the way the magazine, the BBs are always in line instead of on a belt or on some sort of rotary magazine. All right. Now they're all going to have different velocities. The full blowback's going to be a lot slower, like in the 300s. These guys will be in the like mid 300s just because they got a little bit, they're less blowback operations, so more CO2 goes to the BB. I believe, I can't remember, but you can watch my reviews. This one, I believe, is just up and over 300 because it is a small gun with a small barrel. And then the claimed FPS for all these pellet guns is typically going to be high because they claim it with the alloy pellets. But you're really only going to get just up and over 300 FPS typically, 3 to 350 with these guns. Don't expect the lead pellets, so don't expect high velocities in any of these guns. All right, so let's take a look at some of these guns a little closer. The We the People first here. So the Sig Sauer, I mean, it's just a beautiful gun, really nicely finished. I mean, you have obviously all the same attributes as you would have on the KWC 1911s. Everything works, full size, like full blowback operation, nice heavy slide, like single action trigger with working grip safeties, right? You've got ambidextrous controls on this gun. Beautiful gun. I love the finishing. It's probably one of my favorite KWC 1911s, at least one of them. Probably a tie for, up there with other ones. So the Max Michael, it's partial blowback, but decent blowback operation. You can see it goes back pretty good, right? Locks back part way up there. Open ejection port, of course. Working pretty much everything, including the grip safety, right? Nice gun. And it's got a true single action trigger. So that's nice. You can see here, very little take up, easy release. So it shoots pretty nice. The only downside I'd say is this plastic stick magazine is not exciting at all. But it looks good. It's a nice shooting gun. If you want a little more performance than the KWC version, it's got good weight and everything, all metal. And same with with this guy here, the Spartan. It's essentially the same, okay? Same internals, same stick magazine. It's a different finish. Let's take a look at it. Okay. I mean, they're all really nicely finished. White dot sights and everything. They look really good, okay? All right, so let's take a look at the P365. And I want to show you this magazine. Like, isn't that? It's the smallest little dropout magazine you can imagine, but it still holds a standard CO2, right? So, I mean, really cool. And it does have blowback operation, fairly decent blowback operation with a pretty heavy slide spring and a true single action only trigger. Look at that, nice short take up. Let's get in here so you can see it. You got working safety. I believe you can field strip this gun, although I didn't have much success trying it, but it does have a takedown lever. You got your slide catch release, recessed barrel. You got your white dot, actually green dot in the front, white dot in the back. Okay. Open ejection port, all the licensing. So tiny. Really neat gun. I really like it. I know some people have had problems mechanically with it stopping working or double shooting, like the slide will almost kick back and fire like in a almost fully auto for a couple shots unexpectedly. I've heard that. I haven't experienced it personally. Hopefully that's not an issue ongoing for most of them. All right, so let's get to the pellet versions. All right, so we have the P250. It's a bit lighter, obviously, because it's got the plastic frame, but it does have a metal slide. Okay, it doesn't lock back again. You do have the working safety. You do have this sort of stick magazine. It's plastic that has 8 rounds on each side. Again, you have the CO2 goes in the grips. Okay, 16 rounds total. It's a nice gun. It's a little light, I think, but it's a nice gun. It's, you know, using tried and true, basically mechanics like you'd find in the PX4 and some of the Gammo guns that have been using these rotary mags, double-sided rotary mags for a while now. So you know it's going to work. Nothing new there. And then you have the 320, which gets into, again, the same. Well, this is the belt fed, and this is the high capacity one. This is a 30-round belt fed magazine. Okay, there we are. Lots of rounds, lots of ammunition there. And nice gun, you know, blowback operation, right? It's more of a double action trigger because it's got the trigger actually works basically the magazine and the belt, so it has to rotate the belt. This is kind of similar too. It's like a double action, kind of single action gun because the hammer is pulled back, but you still have to rotate the magazine. And then we have the the X5, and this is another belt-fed magazine. They are plastic, but that's okay. You got this neat loading system. It's a lever system, right? And again, partial blowback, no cutout ejection port. And it's kind of got that, you see how even with the slide coming back, the hammer's cocked, but you got to make that magazine work the belt, right? Every time you pull the trigger back. So let's take a look at it here. Really nice gun. This gun's got some good weight to it as well. It's got a metal frame and a metal slide and fully adjustable sights, by the way, which is nice, right? White dot on the front, but fully adjustable on the back for elevation and windage. So if you want something that you're gonna, you know, be able to shoot a little more on target with and really get it sighted in for your shooting style, what you're shooting, the range and what you're shooting at, where you like the aim point to be, you can definitely do it with this gun. All right, so let's look at the 226, P226, and this is a nice gun. It's really heavy. I like it. It's not necessarily my favorite, but one of my favorites in the pellet versions. I just like the two-tone. I like the weight. I like the fact that you've got this sort of sticking out barrel that you can actually put a suppressor on. You've got a working, put this back here. So that's safe. So now you see the hammer comes back, but you can decock it and put it in safe, right? So there we go. Again, same thing. You're going to have to pull that back to work to engage the magazine. Pretty nice gun though, you know, really well finished. Nice weight to it. And the triggers aren't bad on all of these guns, even though some of them are kind of double action. They're not overly heavy. All right, so let's take a look at the M17. This is one of the newest SIGs out there. Unless I can't remember if they came out with anything new this year. I have to actually take a look and see what SIG came out with. I didn't make it to SHOT Show because of all the travel restrictions and things this year. So maybe next year. I really want to get back to SHOT Show, show you guys around SHOT Show. I totally miss going to SHOT Show. White dot sights, open ejection port. This gun is field strippable, by the way. You do have the full dropout magazine with the sort of sub magazine. So you could have like multiple versions of this and just pull the whole thing out. You're going to get more shots than what's in the magazine, 20 per CO2, probably about 3 magazines. So, you know, you can just have multiple of these if you want, and then just use the one magazine, or you can have a mix and match of both of them. Totally up to you, right? You do have the recessed barrel. SIG branding on all of these guns. All right, so what's my favorite BB pistol? Well, I'm gonna have to say it's really close between the We the People and the P365. It's just that there's so many of these KWC guns out there that, you know, I can't just go with them every time. So I'm gonna go with the P365 because it is so unique. It's like the size of a PPK, but it's got, you know, it's the only gun this size that has a full-size dropout magazine, that has a nice single action only trigger, you know, and it shoots pretty good. It shoots well and it shoots pretty hard. It's up and over 300. I can't remember exactly what I got, but I remember it shot pretty good for me in terms of velocity and even accuracy. So check out the video, the actual shooting video that I've done for this, and the tabletop video if you want more info on it here. In terms of the pellet shooters, I'm going to have to go with the M17. It's just, you know, it's got the cutout ejection port. It's got a nice heavy slide. It is a polymer frame, but the gun's weighty because of the full-size dropout magazine and all the other stuff going on. Okay, there we go. We're back in. It just feels good. It's got the 20-round magazine, you know, belt-fed. I just really like it. It's field strippable, recessed barrel. It's nice. White dot sights. Really nice gun in general. So this is going to be my favorite pellet shooter, with I would say the P226 as my next favorite gun, just because it's just so, I just love the weight and everything of that gun. All right, thanks again for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have all of these guns in our Canada and US Replica Airgun store over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. Just check out the Sig Sauer brand link and you'll find all of the Sig Sauer products in each of those categories. If you're interested in other products, you can check out those stores for other products like air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.